Okay guys, we talked a lot about the basics, about EQ and compression and dynamics, and gave everybody a good picture of what these tools are and how they work. But sometimes just using EQ alone doesn't quite give you the results that you need. You feel like maybe you have a different sound when a singer is singing really high in their range, so you cut out a bunch of upper mids, but then when they're talking between songs or they're singing low, you don't want to lose all that presence than you need when they're singing high. So we have other tools that we can use to kind of help bridge that gap, so we're not being so destructive with our EQ, so we can keep it more musical but still get the results we need through other ways to do maybe more advanced compression and expansion kind of techniques.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a few minutes.
Yeah, so here we've got Waves F6. It's a dynamic EQ. So we're really taking this idea of equalization and compression and expansion, which expansion is upwards compression. So if compression is taking away, expansion is adding. And that's really what we've got here. It's a 6-band with a low pass and a high pass dynamic EQ. So what we're able to do is pick a frequency, and we have a threshold just like we do on a compressor, and then we have range. So this is similar to ratio. If we go into the negative, we're in compression, and if we go in positive, we're into expansion. So when the signal, and you can see it here, Jeff's microphone, when he talks into it, this, go ahead, Jeff.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Okay, so we see we've got input meter here, and then here's the threshold. So I'm gonna lower this guy, and then I'm expanding with this guy here. And now when he talks again, you'll see number 5 here. This is actually gonna add EQ to the signal at that section. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Okay, now let's get really aggressive with it. I'm gonna add more here and then lower the threshold.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And now you can widen and narrow this thing too.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Are really wide.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And we can move this around. So like with a vocal, right? If you sing, your singer, which you referenced, is getting really harsh when they get really loud, and that's probably in that like 4K range, we can say, okay, only when you get really loud, we're going to compress the 4K range at that point. Go ahead.
So that if you have a singer who's singing really strident in their upper mid-range, and when they get loud, you get more gain reduction, but then when they're soft, it doesn't really do much at all.
Here's something that's pretty cool about this. So we're doing stuff, in churches and religious services, things like that. So you might have a worship leader that spends a lot of time exhorting or speaking or just plain talking. If you use your regular EQ to carve up their voice for when they're singing, now when they talk, it's really awkward. It doesn't sound right. It's not natural at all. Now, but the minute they start singing, it's like, everything's better. This is where a tool like this can really come into play. Because you can EQ their voice for talking, singing normal, all that, but you can have this inserted as well. You can use both of them at the same time, a regular EQ and a dynamic EQ, to really kick this in when they start singing loud. So this can be just another tool. It's advanced, but it's another tool to actually add to your chain to really dial this thing in.
So how do you guys generally approach this? Do you use the channel strip EQ for basic tone shaping and this for surgery? Or the other way around?
I think it depends on what it is. Like on a vocal, it would be for that. On drums, it's a completely different reason. It's more expansion on drums. But I use it a lot on vocals for that. It's when the singer really gets loud that you want to carve out some of the stuff that can be offensive. And then so that when they're quiet, there's still presence. And then I'm using EQ on the console for high pass filter, cutting out some mud just so that there's clarity all the time, things like that.
I want my channel on the console, if a plugin went down for any reason or something like that, I still want my channel to sound decent. So I usually start with that and get it tone shaped, and that sounds like the way I would always do it. Then use this as an additive.
That's good.
Yeah.